Hello and welcome to the ECL Sunday Challenge. I am Dr. Hero and I'm here with Jez 2718. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Yep, support.
So we're here on this Sunday. We're looking to watch Dr. Pringles versus I Am Monster for the first round. Dr. Pringles brought a fun lineup of Praxis Horn, JPS Nostrix, and Argenport. And I Am Monster brought Stone Scar Midrange, Praxis Tokens, and Acaria Blue. The
Fairly
sad
unhandsome choice of ban here, but oh well.
Yeah, our caster, my co-caster over here, is a big fan of JPS Nostrix. He's one of the people who actually made the deck popular when it first came about, many moons
The
ago.
deck is an invention of this team, way back.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, January, I guess.
But we can't see it this round. Hopefully, we'll see it later on. And I Am Monster has his practice tokens deck, man, which I'm not sad about. I don't really like watching that, but that's okay.
Possible thing to ban, really.
Yeah, so players are getting into games soon. We'll see what they decide to pick, and we'll go check that out. Okay, so I Am Monster Myth on his Stone Scar mid-range deck, while Dr. Pringle chose to play Argenport for the first time around.
Yes, I mean, fairly sensible things to start off with, really.
Yeah, it has the most even matchups between all of its decks. So might as well put it out the first thing as you go. Who do you think is favored in this matchup?
Send a message.
In towards just because the Flyers and the Life Gain and Unseen Commander being such a strong card, but to be honest, I'm not particularly familiar with. It's not a deck that we see very often, so.
Yeah, this version of Stone Scar midrange actually runs cards like Shadowlands Tyrant, which might put him ahead in any sort of race. And I see a Statuary Maiden hanging out there. So Statuary Maiden. Oh, Jack as well. Okay. Now I'm starting to like his Stone Guard mid-range more. If he's running more of those Statuary Maiden and Jacks to Stonewall, these cards, they can actually kill some things.
Right now, the Iron Ostrom is power screwed, so that's going to cause a problem.
Yeah, Dr. Pringles is playing out all of his units, and Iron Monstrum cannot do the same. He picks up a Crest for the turn, which will help him out, but he can't play any 4-drops right now.
Do Berry if he wants to.
He chooses to go with him rather well. Notably dies to Vanquish now, which Dr. Pringles, I believe, does run.
Yeah, I imagine that we'll probably just see Valkyrie Enforcer come down and silence the Suberry. Just keep increasing the pressure.
Yeah, Dr. Pringles wins by flying through the air, and he wants to get as much aerial, as big of an aerial board as possible right now.
What does Dr. Pringles have in their market?
He has Slime Splitter, Slug, Statuary Maiden, Dark Return, In Cold Blood, and Combust. Oh, that's the other guy. That's I Am Monster. Never mind.
Quite useful if they can get to it, actually. That would probably completely turn the tide. Okay. Probably see. I imagine we'll see. Oh, okay. Expected to be. Really just going for as much damage as possible.
Yeah, I like that play. Right now, you know Iron Monster is struggling with playing out all of his cards, and you have the pressure on right now, and might as well close out the game while you can.
Yeah, makes sense. and clock.
I Am Monster plays out the Statue Maiden, but does absolutely nothing against Dr. Pringle's board, which all
Let's
flies.
can draw something relevant off the top. This is over, I think.
She probably gets silenced, and he swings for lethal. Oh, that's not lethal.
No, it's not lethal. It's just
There you go.
Yeah.
It was conceded lethal.
Okay, so I'm Ostrom win with both of their decks against Dr. Pringles' Praxis Horn. This is going to be entertaining however it happens.
This is my favorite deck list out of everything here. I played Praxis Horn before in like an ETS many moons ago and got top 8 with it. It was fun. And I've been starting to try and mess around with it lately as well. So I'm happy to see Dr. Pringle's take on it.
Tournaments, but there's the occasional times I've been against it in ladder and that it will gain, it'll suddenly be on 50 life after you've nearly killed it, and it's just very frustrating to play against.
Oh man, it's so fun. Yesterday I managed to deck a Neporo player just by playing out Flamestokers and Dawnwalkers and gaining all the life as possible, and they had no way to close out the game.
It's fine. But yeah, a deck with Flamestokers and Dawnwalker should be pretty favoured, at least against the Ikaria blue.
Yeah, so I Am Monster probably is going to run it back with Stone Scar mid-range.
Well, I mean, with this being Conquest, it just doesn't matter which one you run it with. You can just go with whatever makes you feel comfortable. Yeah, you've got to win with both.
Yeah, if you want to run your best matchup first or save it for last after you secured a win with your difficult deck, there's multiple ways to go about it.
It was an interesting question in the ETS Invitational, because with that had the force play draw, it actually did matter.
Yeah, that actually makes your decision which deck to play a lot more interesting, which I like about it. Hopefully Direwolf Digital supports that in client sometime soon.
Like, for their official tournaments, I'd be pretty unhappy if it was random play draw. Because yeah, it adds a lot to the experience.
Okay, Iron Monstrum has a slower hand, but he can play Instigator on 3 and buff him up for Ornate Katana if he so chooses, which will start getting him value.
Yeah, and without this Dawnwalker, then Iron Nostrum can just immediately shoot it with Highwayman, so...
Dr. Pringles does not have all the power to play his units, but he has Double Horn, which will definitely help him out here.
Does Dr. Pringles have much to deal with that Maiden, though?
Yeah, Maiden is a very strong card against these time mid-range decks. Their way, they can have Torch, but that doesn't kill Saturate Maiden, and the only other way to kill it is through things like Killer, and that just is a bad trade.
Oh, and it's completely going to shut down this Dawnwalker loop thing, so that's going to be frustrating.
Notably, Dr. Pringles runs the Ixton Merchant rather than the Aurelian Merchant, which can grab Horn. I think I like Ixton Merchant better here as well, because grabbing Horn off the market is a pretty slow play, and you want Horn to be able to ramp you up and start getting more tempo instead.
Yeah, and I think Flamestoker is such a powerful tool in this deck. I don't quite feel happy mainboarding Flamestokers compared to putting them in the market. A card if you only draw it when you need it.
That's definitely the case. Dr. Pringle's looking into his market, trying to decide what to pick.
Makes sense. Just deal with the Statuary Maiden.
You can purify first and silence the saturated maiden, or you can try and attack and purify later. But that gives him a stone cudgel, but it does get rid of the saturated maiden body.
Based on the fact that we can see Iron Mostrum's hand, this is the better. This is definitely the better line because of the interrogator would have been a pain.
That is very true. Give self-annihilating response. That's okay.
That's not hitting the World Bearer Behemoth, so that should make Dr. Pringles very happy.
You cannot put out the light.
Dr. Pringle probably won't play out this Amber Monument for power, because the power he needs is Fire Influence, and playing that out will not help him out at all.
And it's resurrecting the Dawnwalkers. So
I am Monstrum trying to get as much damage in as possible. But Dr. Pringle's at 30 life.
I mean, they're both on pretty high life at the moment.
Yeah. They're both higher than their starting life total. So they have a lot of work to do to get into that zero lethal.
Like, at this point, from is gonna really struggle. Dr. Pringles has got set up the whole because gain a ton of life.
That's a pretty obvious torch, so Dr. Pringles probably won't block there.
Yeah. Dr. Pringles can hit a fire source off of this World Bearer that will solve all of their influence issues.
And another merchant, that's actually very nice for him. He can go and grab Flamestoker out of the market and really just shut the game off at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he just draw the Flamestoker. I mean, I guess it will depend on whether these Dawnwalkers get blocked, because he might just prefer to resurrect Dawnwalkers.
Or an Obliterate if they actually have enough damage in to kill him right away.
It'll get the job done, guaranteed.
Oh, he goes
There
to the
might have
market
been an argument.
now.
There might have been an argument not to play the merchant that turn.
Yeah, I would have preferred
he's
to wait a turn. So I got something I would actually
shutting
like.
off the source of life gain by getting the Obliterate. Yeah, that could be gaining 6 life every little ping that happens, so better just to get rid of that, and now this game... I would, you never know what can happen, but it looks fairly unlosable to me.
He just draws the Flamestoker naturally the very next turn.
He saw that off of the crest last turn, so he knew need to search the market for the Flamestoker, and this is looking dangerous already.
Yeah, this is a beating. Iron Monster can block only one Dawnwalker here. He cannot block the Flamestoker forever, which is really what you need against this, against him right now.
Yeah. This A space, you just want to push damage.
Nice torch post combat, not torch, purify.
Send a message.
Yeah,
And I don't see how Iron Monster can come back from this.
we've got 12 overwhelm damage, so this gets them down to 1.
Monstrum does not even have a boar in the market. Oh, I think he's running a Deadly Merchant.
Oh, and then concede.
Oh, Dr. Pringle Pringles takes versus I Am Monstrum 2-0.
It was
And
pretty
I'm not.
quick. So do we have a backup match or?
Yeah, we are looking for a backup match at this moment. There's a few players still playing, I believe. Let's see. Okay. T Chamber versus Electrico are still playing. Kalos and Magikarp are still playing. Sunu and Mr. Carrot. So we're just looking for which of these matches are still in game at the moment. Just give us a bit. I see. Kalos is in game versus Magikarp right now. This is a pretty interesting board state. I'm just checking out all the different stuff that's going on. Okay, we found the match, and we are just waiting to get everything set up for you guys.
Looks like, just to allow the viewers to imagine, what is on what looks like Film Berserk up on Combray.
Yeah, this is more of a Combray Ramplet that's running the Great Parliaments and other stuff. Kalios is attacking with her tutorial elf and a Rendra. He doesn't have very good blocks right now. He could double block, but then now play it right into Kalos's trick. All right, perfect. So you can see everything that's going on at this moment.
This looks like, if Magikarp can survive, this looks like a pretty nice hand for them.
Yeah, Magikarp has a lot of good stuff in
Ever
here.
imagine?
He also has, is that a banner?
Banner in hand. Yeah, banner in hand. Which greatest against Film Berserk, because often their big screaming win is a Rindra, so you can't. But at least it stops the Berserk. So they, sort of wisely just attack.
Yeah, he needs some blockers on the board right now until he can hold up Scorpion Wasp later to deal with any crazy things going on. But Scorpion Wasp doesn't really block if he gets a screaming Overwhelm Rendra.
So now that's
Kalos attacks with both her units, does not hold up can't hold up the mana for her combat trick.
this is a weird attack because there isn't a one combat trick in Film Berserk, so this is a safe block.
Yeah, he may be trying to get Rendra into the void to get some double Haunting Scream in for Lito later on.
So this is, it's not the most exciting screen target, but I guess that must be what. Oh, and that's the very bad news for Kalos, because that's a lot of life gain if they choose to play this Sword of Unity.
And it always annoys me that you can get the stand together for just 2 extra. The card itself is very, very good.
Yeah, it's quite possibly the most impactful card in the set. This is really tricky, I think, now.
Okay, Kalos picked up a Gift of Battle, so she can turn that Rindra into 10 damage every time you Haunting Scream.
Just about barely overtakes the 9 life gain at every turn.
So we'll see how she tries to get in some lethal.
So what is the...
See, the main problem here is that Rindra does not have Overwhelm, and next turn Magikarp can just hold up Scorpion Wasp and just defend well against it.
They're willing to gamble. They could even play the... and hope they get 2 undepleted lands and still be able to hold up Scorpion Wasp and 1 undepleted land, because they're going to draw so many cards that are likely to hit another land.
Yeah, that is a line.
Yeah, this... play it safe, or they can just have all the tools they could ever need and...
Yeah, either way, Magikarp is in a great position right now.
14 damage this turn if she wants to. But that isn't quite enough. No, the block with the Initiative the Sands would be lethal. I think this is their line. They play Gift of Battle on, and then they swing with both and just hope that Magikarp chooses not to block. Yeah, no, was not going to happen, but was the only real hope for winning, I think.
He could also try to play the Bloodslit Avesaur, which would have given him turned on the little Lethrai Ranger. You get 4 more damage in, plus lethal, plus Nightfall damage.
Yeah, now Magikarp can't do the Mystic Ascendant line because they've lost 1 power. To...
I bring you aid.
Okay, holds up Scorpion Wasp.
Combat Trick off the top would have been...
But Kalos did not get it.
Because the lack of overwhelm, yeah.
She can scream that Rindra, but it's going to get eaten by a Scorpion Wasp because they used the Cabal tactics last turn rather than saving it for this turn.
I can't imagine Magikarp ever doesn't leave up 3. It's just too... Is...
Okay. And this is where the game...
on the backswing. So this is... That's game over.
Yep. Kalos surrenders there. There wasn't a way she can get in the rest of the damage, sadly. The Sword of Unity just knocked her right out of the game. I am not
Yeah,
sure
it would
what
have
the
been.
continue.
It was a close game without that, but even then, Magikarp had the Mystic Ascendant set up to draw so many cards, he was going to hit something relevant soon.
So that was not the last game, I'm pretty sure, because Kalos got right back in with Magikarp.
Okay, so it looks like Magikarp is on their Praxis tokens, and Kalos is still on Felm Berserk.
That may be the last deck that she needs to win, and they might be both on their last decks at this point.
Yeah,
Just confirming if it's the score is 1-1 here. All right, the match is now 1-1.
Decider.
This is the matchup that they're both locked into.
Right here.
Magikarp, unlike all of my ladder opponents, does not have a Xenon Obelisk.
No Xenon Obelisk. Oh, and the deck lists are in hand.
Oh, no, yeah, it's just in hand.
Okay. So in the ladder, the opponent always has Obelisk on 4.
Yeah, or on 3. On 3.
Okay, off the initiate, you're right.
Which would you like?
Looks like they're going to be leaning heavily on Rindra. Pull them through in this draw because Magikarp has a lot of.
Magikarp just filled up his entire board, and Kalos is there with her sad 2-1 Aegis Yeti.
It's written right here.
Probably going to be using Annihilate on the 3/3. Ooh, that's. And Magikarp just drew an assembly line, so. Ooh, okay.
Tries to deny them power.
Yeah. 3 power, so they couldn't.
Which would you like?
They would need more power to cast an Obelisk, but.
Yeah, but Kalos was banking on the fact that.
Well, I mean. If Rindra can survive, which it will, on any torches, then it's 5 life this turn. Attack. So yeah, Gift of Battle Rapid Shot is a lot of life gain here.
Yeah, they can start racing and bringing it back with that lifesteal on Rindra.
It's going to be a 36 life point swing.
If you're Magic up here, do you even want to block? Magikarp chooses not to.
I think is reasonable. Yeah, because if you kill the Rindra, then it could just. Then maybe they have Scream, and then that reactivates the lifesteal.
And right now they don't have Nightfall to keep giving Rindra lifesteal every turn. Holds 1 Temple Scribe back as a jump blocker.
Yeah. You're dead to another Rapid Shot if you don't, so.
You're a sad bunch.
Okay.
That was very good for Kalos. Now she has 2 5/5 lifesteal units on the board, gaining them 10 life every turn.
I think Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, you have to attack. It's got reckless. Forced to block the Rindra's next turn. Otherwise, you just die.
Yeah, Kalos has one source of Nightfall in her hand if she can get that activated, and that plus another source of Nightfall is just they gain the life. Never mind. I was gonna hope for the Nightfall lethal here.
Okay, so we've got a merchant off the top in the grave, so we can't scream lethal. But if they just grab Scream here, swinging with the Rindras, they have to be killed.
Yeah, the Rangers have
They
to be dealt
Scream
with no
next
matter
turn
what.
for victory. I think that has to be the line.
Does Kalos have a Crystallize in the market?
Would be another possible line, yeah. I feel like
No Crystallize. Just another Rindra.
loses against Merchant getting Sandstorm Scarf. So yeah, if they do have Crystallize, fine.
No, they don't have Crystallize in the market, but they do have another Rindra that they may get.
Okay. They presumably they must have Haunting Scream in there, so I think Haunting Scream probably should have done is attacked and then gone to the market.
Just
But
not give
Magikarp,
your opponent any information.
yeah, Magikarp then Scream. Magikarp can of these with 4 toughness / power, not die and also not kill any Rindras. They've identified that that's what they need to do. Yeah, they're more worried about some form of trick, which is completely reasonable.
And even if you use the Marison's Disciple to get a flyer out to try and block a Scream, the Rangers have Overwhelm.
Oh, hang on.
Reconsidering.
Have they defied the line? What they've got to do is block these with exactly 4 power / toughness, because all of their units are. But no, they're not.
Okay.
They've not identified that
Locking
line.
with the teacher. Okay, they do kill the Rangers. Magikarp may be hoping for. I don't think there's anything that can just kill them right out. A rally doesn't do it.
Oh, so this looks pretty. Merchants anyway. They even then they still should have combat unless they were fetching a combat trick. What about getting Gift of Battle and then decided against it?
Yeah. But they saw that Gift of Battle just dies on the first attack without a combat trick supporting it. Okay.
Gift of Battle.
For that super lethal.
Which would you like?
Up
This
a bit. Getting any rally, not getting any Xenon Obelisk. But
yeah, they had a good couple of turns at the beginning, but they didn't draw any of the supporting cards to their great token makers.
Yeah, I mean this is still the problem that Grenadin tokens are still just 1/1s. You really do need something supporting them for them to be a really major clock with as much life gain as
Yeah, Yeah, practice tokens have a really big problem dealing with lifesteal units without Obelisk or Rally or other cards like that.
Yeah.
So Kalos picks that up 2-1 over I am what was that Magikarp. And believe that was the last match of this round. So we're gonna head into break soon, and we're gonna come back for round 2 and show you more Eternal. See you guys. Hello and welcome back to the ECL Sunday Challenge. We're here for round two, and we've got an interesting matchup this time. We picking up Notorious GHP versus Suno. These are two very
Yeah.
these are two very well-known players. We've seen them in the ECL before. We've seen them in the ETS, and they brought a more of a try-hard lineup.
Both of them brought a temporal control, but thankfully Suno banned Notorious GHP, so we won't have to watch
Oh,
endure through a temporal control mirror.
I was not looking forward to that, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So, Suno has a Praxis mid-range deck, while Notorious GHP has a Praxis tokens deck. And GHP has a found control list, while Suno has the found scream list. So they switched up their aggros and controls, but we're all in the same faction for this matchup, which is interesting enough.
Trying to figure out who's favored with these two lineups.
I think I'm gonna have
The
to give it to
temporal
Suno.
control can beat probably both of those decks. So it'll all be down to whether Notorious can win with Felm and Praxis tokens against Praxis midrange. Oh, definitely both of those decks have a way of beating Praxis midrange.
And the players are in game, so we'll check that out right now as we head into the actual match. Anytime now. All right, we're in the match. Notorious GHP has a hand, has turn 1 Guardian Drone, turn 3 Assembly Line, and he has all the influence he needs. I am not sure if that's quite a keep. It's close.
It's sort of what we were talking about with the last round of it of making its grenadines visible units. Put back looking for a hand that can get to an obelisk.
Yeah, it's hard to turn away any hand that has all your influence plus Guardian Drone and Assembly Line, but that might be what you have to do right here. On the other
Again,
hand, so
on temporal, I don't know this.
Suno has a hand which is just 2 Crest, Desert Marshal, the Great Parliament, Strategize, Vanquish. I don't think you keep this hand if you're Suno. You don't have enough power.
Especially if you're worried that you might be against Praxis tokens in the list. You want to mulligan really for a hand with Hailstorm.
Yeah, this is an absolutely anemic hand versus any sort of aggressive start on the GHP's part.
Be a pretty good hand versus Found Control, so they might keep it, but they shouldn't if they've got the read on what Notorious GHP is bringing.
Okay, I'm just gonna resend it. All right.
GHP mulligans and gets definitely a better hand. He'd keep that hand.
Yeah,
All off the top.
this is a good hand for Notorious. He has turn 2 Trailmaker. He can start playing Obelisk on turn 3, and then he has some other units to get him going. Turn 2 Teacher is
They'll
also very
probably
good.
just play Teacher, yeah. Make them have the Desert Marshal, or you get a big advantage.
Yeah, Sono kept that hand, which is interesting.
It was a very good hand versus Found Control, or at least a pretty good hand versus Found Control, so
Oh yeah,
they
he would
might
not
have
have
been.
thought. Okay, Sono's looking for some influence to play out this harsh rule. He has a bunch of big stuff like Channel the Tempest. The Great Parliament might actually do well here as a blocker.
I'm putting back the Channel of the Tempest really here, away from being played.
Yep. Sono agrees. While GHP is starting to put on the pressure with this obelisk.
He has got to be afraid of Harshal from now on, and
But Sono was still off the Justice influence.
yeah. Well, we know that Suno doesn't have the requisite justice. There's always the fear when you're on the other side of the board that they're just second justice in hand, saying, "Oh look, I can't harsh through you."
Oh yeah, that is one of my favorite bluffing plays to make. Sono does pick up Hailstorm, but now that all the units have Obelisk and they're about to get buffed up twice very soon, that doesn't look
Found
so
their
hot.
second Hailstorm, so easily see Merchant into another Obelisk swing for a bunch of damage this turn. In fact, that damage because they get to 8 power. So yeah, I think the choice not to Hailstorm that board could be problematic for them.
Yeah, getting to 8 power as a Praxis token index is one of your goals, because that makes you get up to the second Obelisk buff, and that brings your units outside of stuff like Hailstorm range and other damage based. Oh, double Obelisk. There you go.
I was talking about of suddenly a lot of damage out of our Praxis player, so
Even if they use double Hailstorm or something like that, okay, and the story works.
they've got the rules, and Praxis doesn't have any charge, so it's really just a matter of can draw Torch before Suno can draw a waste it. Oh, all that!
Tap hard of the ball. Pings them for the last bit of lethal. Notorious GHP picks up a win with his Praxis tokens deck.
That must feel pretty good for Notorious GHB to get a win with Praxis tokens against a deck running Hailstorm and tools.
So, how do you think about the Praxis mid-range versus Stone Control matchup? Praxis time-based mid-range decks usually have trouble dealing with control, and that they have sweepers, but Stone Control does not have any sweepers.
Yeah, I think this would have been Feln favored, but I think with that Praxis got in the last set and in the earlier clearly have been a lot better than the tools that Feln has got. So
most notably cards like Karasaur, which punishes control decks.
Also, even Sandstorm Scarf. I'm not sure if Suno's list has Sandstorm Scarf in it, but I mean, the main win con for Feln Control is just sticking a large champion, and if that's getting blocked on the ground, then tricky. First, we have a control mirror.
Yeah, so Suno decided to go with the Temporal Control deck, which had a better matchup versus Feln Control. They're just slightly over the top. Maybe not so slightly, but they're over the top of Feln Control. And they have better ways to remove their few units.
If I'm imagining that Notorious GHP will have an Azindal's Gift in the market if they're running the Shadow Merchant.
Yeah, Azindal's Gift would be a great answer.
That would be a good tool against Suno if they can get it off.
The problem with that is Temporal this temporal deck has very easy access to face Aegis and the Cobalt Waystone, and they do also run the Disjunction.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, so they've got to get the Disjunction. The Disjunctions they have in the main deck, because once an Azindal's Gift is down, you can never mark it again.
Oh, that is true.
GHP also has got the Vara's Favor to break the face Aegis. Not sure if they're going to wait until they have the 9 power to do that all in one turn, or whether they take the gamble on 6 power to make way for an Azindal's Gift. Suno has not drawn a face Aegis or a Disjunction.
Okay.
This gift is coming down next turn.
Yeah, this is looking really good for GHP when this deck is able to what did I say? When this gift is able to stick. Jumbled my words a bit there.
So Suno has got to get the top here, pretty much. They can play Vital Arcana and try and draw in the junction, so they have.
Oh, that is very good for Suno right there. That merchant will be able to come down and Disjunction after a gift.
Yeah, and with that.
That was the exact card he needed to stay back in this game.
I think it now might. I think that was only real hope. Bring together a bunch of channels.
Yeah, so Suno's looking to be in the commanding board state now, not board state, position. The board state doesn't really matter as much as this control mirrors.
The Found show no mercy.
Yeah. With Scorpion Wasp, that Champion of Cunning is just not even a threat.
Just gets answered by a 3-cost card.
Yeah. Oh. Difficult for GHP. I'm confused as to why they channel in that position just to edge on. Well, they haven't got a face Aegis, but they're not drawing face Aegis at all. So
yeah, that's your main out right here, just to get face damage in. Unseal is actually pretty nice for GHP here.
Yeah, it really is, because the issue that is doesn't have any real. Okay, so they have the double Hailstorm now. Deal with a massive Great Parliament. So this is going to basically come down to a channel of Tempest War.
But Suno does draw the face
amazing in that
GHP
context.
GHP has a Vara's Favor to pop the face Aegis to get another channel of Tempest through.
This is actually not playing their own channel. I guess they must be. Okay, no, sorry, they have a third Hailstorm, so yeah, they don't need to keep all of them. Be having another hand as well, so it's going to be really hard for Suno to properly resolve a channel.
Yeah, that's basically the only cards that are getting meaningfully cast this game are these channel tempests.
I'm sure I agree with using the double Hailstorm there, because it was only 2 hours. They could have just used Feeding Time and Annihilate, say, and save the double Hailstorm for as Suno got up to 12 or.
These spot rule spells are doing absolutely nothing in GHP's hands. There are no other targets for them.
Those two Hailstorm were really just your safety net against, could do on the board.
GHP does have the option of going to the market once more, and I wonder what's actually in there. They already picked up the gift, so that's not an option.
What I would imagine.
You can escape.
Okay, so they've got Burglarize, which could be entertaining.
Yeah, if he burglarizes any temporal distortion, that could change this matchup a bit.
It relevantly changes the outcome. Okay, so this is Burglarize this.
Okay, now that would actually be very good for GHP here.
Touch of
This is going to be
Buying or not?
Sword of the Sky King is an 8/8, so it does die exactly to itself.
Burglarize steals the sword. It doesn't just make your own copy. So
You're right. I was thinking like the armor sticks around, but it left. That's okay.
now the disjunction from the market is gone. Who also has very little they actually have that can interact with this sword.
Will GHP win off the back of his opponent's Sword of the Sky King?
Possibly. I mean, they're probably not going to win off the channel unless they draw another Vara's Favor. So Sword of the Sky King is one of their best bets here.
Suno can buy 2 turns off the Desert Marshal, and these Channel the Tempest can come in to try and kill this Sword of the Sky King as well.
But they went for the Harbinger. Okay, so that
I'm not sure I like playing out the unit first,
yeah, that confuses me.
because you know they have all the removal in the world. You haven't been playing anything else. Black Sky Harbinger doesn't even have Aegis.
So this at least gets rid of one of the ambush. Like, yeah, okay, that's. Oh,
Alright,
and
there you
that
go.
used up all of their power playing. They only held up one ambush.
Okay, playing out the Black Sky Harbinger was a 2000 IQ play. They got the Sword of the Sky King in while the shields were down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was Suno not managing their power correctly. I guess they just couldn't go for that. They should have just gone for the harsh rule rather than trying for the channel. Play around Unseal the whole game, and then all of a sudden they don't play around Unseal. It's a little bit odd.
Merchant will be able to come down, buy him an extra turn while he digs into the
Got-
market. There is a disjunction, and they already used the disjunction. There's an
Again,
equivocate.
great. This is what I was talking about with, if they had still got the double hailstorm left over, this would be state for them than it is at the moment. They might be able to
Mhm.
time one of the owls. Now they haven't got the greatest blocks. If you just swing in,
Okay.
they now have to double block the Black Sky Harbinger to kill it. I guess Marshall.
Think you can escape me?
So now this Desert Marshal isn't coming down as a blocker on this Sword of the Sky King. But it's still a blocker, but it's not going to ambush in
Now
and change
let's.
targets.
Yeah. Suno is really running out of things to put in the way of this sword.
Found show no mercy.
We can just play double Aegis unit here.
Yeah, though. Oh, and their end of the story, they've used up their end of the story, so they haven't got the line of attack with Desert Marshal and hope that it gets blocked.
Yeah, even if they use their board sweeper, that gets rid of one of the Desert Marshals as a blocker.
If they actually want to kill any of the units, they need to use up another Desert Marshal just to pop an Aegis, so... The tourist probably lets this through.
Yeah,
And
doesn't want to
now...
activate end of the story.
Okay, so now they clear everything out, and they've got one Desert Marshal left.
Oh, Ranger's Choice. Can kill Desert Marshal, but that's gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
How many the Great Parliaments are left in the Suno's deck?
I'm not.
think it's just-
I haven't got. Yeah.
I think it's just one main
I
and
haven't
one
got
in
it
the
fixed.
market.
2, so that is it. But Rindra's Choice can negate it anyway.
Yeah.
This is really looking bad for Suno.
They're gonna need to find a way to pop this Aegis this turn, but they cannot.
Think about Burglarize as a secondary win con for GHP.
Yeah, that came in absolutely clutch for him. And it took away one of the very few win cons that Suno has in his deck. And turned it into your own.
There we go. 2-0 win for Notorious GHP.
I was looking into this matchup thinking it was a lock for Temporal Control, where that Burglarize turned the entire matchup around. That was very exciting to watch.
If people are wondering of a deck that has tools to beat Temporal Control on ladder, that might be an option then.
Just stuff Burglarize main deck, because why not? Tired of seeing all these Temporal distortions.
I don't think Temporal actually gets distortion against Found Control. They'd rather get stuff like Great Parliament out of their market or Disjunction out of their market.
Yeah, they
They've
can just
got-
act as the bigger control deck.
There are definitely decks that you want your Temporal Distortion against, but against Found. But
Yeah, that was one of the last matchups of this round. There's one more still going on, and we're gonna see if we can get that for you this round. And that is Kalos versus Dr. Pringles.
it looks like Dr. Pringles did not have banned this time round, so I get to see my pet deck.
Oh, here we go. There's a Nostrix in hand, a Genève Merchant. Genève Merchant is really, really good with Nostrix.
Wow, 2 Genève Merchants in hand, and now a Nostrix is going to come down and make them all huge.
This is going to be very tough to deal with for Kalos. Nostrix comes down as a 5/6 blocker in the air, which blocks pretty much every unit that she can scream.
Yep. And doesn't die to any of... I think, yeah. Does not run any Rindra's choices, so there's... Okay, they got the Permafrost. That's the only... Geez, they've drawn this game. And Dr. Pringles has drawn 2. There's been a lot of going on. Okay, this... Is that just lethal? I think that might be lethal.
That's a strong Yeti.
Wait,
Yep.
did that Yeti not have Berserk? I thought I read it had Berserk. Oh.
I guess not. And this Stone Powder Alchemist will bring him out of this
That's
little rut.
This is a build that
Make each bullet count.
for a long time, back when The latter was a lot more aggressive than it is now.
It is working out for him in this Found Berserk matchup.
Yeah, definitely.
Stone Powder Alchemist is actually might do decently well versus the Pearl decks because they can revenge back and they can get immediate damage in with the pings.
It puts on a lot of
So
without having to wait to attack. So now
goes into the market for a feeding time. It's not going to hit anything at this moment as they all have
yeah,
ages.
they don't have a mirror image in their market. This has been one of the a major thing that I've been looking at in this deck. And
Yeah, mirror image plus Genev Merchant is strong, and mirror image plus Nostrix is strong. This is
and just
something.
here, simply to get another flyer, it would have been pretty useful. Okay, but they drew Sheltering Rider, so this is now all. I think they're basically completely set.
Probably the best unit versus Scream, even better than Sandstorm Titan, because you have to waste 2 removal spells to deal with this aerial blocker.
A Sheltering Rider and pass. Oh wait, no, you can play the Sheltering Rider and the Merchant, so you can attack with your big Merchant this turn, or one of your big Merchants this turn.
He may choose to just bring
Wait,
empty
attacks
Merchant here.
with both.
Okay.
Dangerous.
A little bit risky.
Chaos has to take both of these. And then okay. No, I see what they're doing.
They're planning to scream
It's
back
weird.
at Genev Merchant.
They scream Genev Merchant, get Gift of Battle, and attack for 6.
Something gets you out.
If Dr. Pringles didn't have the Sheltering Rider, but they do, so.
Let's hope he does. Okay. Does it even go to the market? That's nice.
So.
Oh, Rapid Shot might turn all of this around, though.
That's enough mana. Scream. Yeah, you scream the Merchant, you get Gift of Battle, you attack with Rapid Shot, and one of the attacks connects and you win.
That was the absolutely perfect draw to complete this line of play. Kalo's playing to her outs, and she found it.
Yeah, very good spotting that if you should let the Merchant die.
And Kalos takes it 2-0 versus Dr. Pringles in this match. That was
Great
nice.
with having market, or at least if that feeding time had been something like a mirror image, played Sheltering Rider, mirror image the Sheltering Rider, and then they would have been completely safe.
Yeah, most of the time I play Genev Merchant, I want mirror image in the market. It is so versatile in what it can do.
Yeah, I'm not sure I fully Pringles' choices. Let me. Yeah, I'll have his full list when I get the opportunity.
Yep. That was the last match up of this round. So we will be going into break shortly, and we will come back for round 3 of the Eternal Sunday Challenge. So we'll see you soon. Hello, and welcome back to the ECL Sunday Challenge. We're here for round three, and this time we have the matchup versus of Kalos versus Allison. These are two players we haven't seen featured yet. And Kalos got their Combray aggro list ban, while Allison got their JPS Scream list ban, which I'm a little bit sad about.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty list with Wilgon's Disciple and just going for
Yeah, those
that
one-turn
berserk
kills,
kill.
that's all. I was all about
I can
that.
understand Kalos just wanting to ban the weird list that looks like it might be doing something powerful.
I mean, it had Jump Kick, it had Paladin Oath Book, but we can't see that right now.
It's just Allison's list is now the slowest deck in the game and the fastest deck in the game.
Which is
It's going to be.
I like how Allison brought two like very, very fast aggro decks and then just temporal control to round it out. Kalos, on the other hand, got Found Scream and Praxis tokens, two very aggressive lists. Found Scream, I think, does pretty well versus temporal control, and Praxis token, I think, does okay versus Skycrag. Skycrag has trouble dealing with these 1/1 Grenadins that block their Aegis units.
Is going to rather struggle to get a win with their Skycrag aggro.
Yeah, Found Scream also runs Rindra as well, which does well against Skycrag aggro.
Yeah, so I think Allison will get a win with their temporal control. Kalos will be able to take the series. That would be my prediction looking at these lineups. But we will see.
Okay, Allison has a hand of Permafrost, Desert Marshal, and Scorpion Wasp. Those are three removal spells, but none of those really line up versus the Praxis tokens that Kalos decided to bring.
Kalos's hand is quite sad that she can't play the Grenadin drone and or fire soon. Otherwise, this could be a game for them. The really needs to put on pressure to
That is definitely the case
beat
here.
Allison before Allison gets.
I think the players may be waiting for the go-ahead, and they'll get started soon. Okay. So Kalos does have the Obelisk in hand, which is basically the key to this Praxis tokens deck, which turns everything into an actual threat.
All thing, but I think Chaos might have made a mistake leading with practice tokens rather than leading with Feln, because
Yeah,
if
Feln's-
Allison's going to lead with the temporal control, you really want to, or probably will lead with the temporal control because it's better against both decks. You want to bring the deck with the best chance of sneaking in a win against temporal, and I think that's going to be the Feln deck, not the.
It's written right here.
Okay, Kalos does find the fire influence that she desperately needed.
This hand is looking okay then because it's got the obelisk and the rally for a big sort of burst.
Okay. These removal spells in Allison's hands are looking sad, but this instant merchant can start blocking at least one unit a turn.
The side here just reveal with pauses and such like. with that turn.
In the market here, Allison chooses to grab Disjunction, preparing against any obelisk, even though she doesn't see it in Kale's hand.
It's just going to be the most impactful card for beating practice tokens. So
Yeah, practice tokens does not have obelisk and is a lot less scary.
I think here we're seeing a problem for Kalos of just the pressure.
I
I
don't like
think
playing.
that was a mistake.
Yeah, I don't
You
like playing
might
this
as
Disjunction
well
then.
block with the merchant and then use it as a combat trick to get them to give up one of their tokens.
Yeah, now Kalos just wouldn't attack into it and get rid of their token for no reason without a rally to kill it right
The
back.
torch too.
A torch, yeah, rally doesn't do it anymore.
We know that Kalos has torch, but I think Allison just gave away free information by playing that disjunction rather than until the combat step to do so.
Kalos was sticking through her turn. She does have a teleport, but that's very bad versus Extend Merchant in particular, because that just gives them another chance to grab into the market.
Here is just to torch away the. Here's the interesting point. Do they torch the before it can get a block? But I don't think they do. They want to kill the merchant.
Yeah, they're not worried about the 2-1 that they can kill anytime with any jumping unit, any little unit.
Kayla and Allison has made the read and is not blocking with the merchant.
Oh, they bring back Grenadine Drone, which I like.
That, yeah, okay. Many units as possible. Okay, I'm just confused.
They don't play it out. They're worried about a hailstorm at this point.
I think Kalos's only hope is to play as if Hailstorm doesn't exist. Because Allison's on so much life, you've just got to kill them.
Yeah, if you start slow rolling your threats, they are going to draw a hailstorm while you've been not putting on the pressure at that point.
Yeah, like if Allison was on, 4 or 5 life, I could see. Well, then you're just building up for obliterate. But I could see trying to threat through that can deal the final points of ping that you need. But if you just need to be getting their life total down. In hand, that Grenadine Drone is 6 damage that isn't attacking this turn. So now they can't really play the rally.
Allison decided whether she wants to block and bait out the torch.
Yeah.
Or save
it still kills something. You still trade for 2 of theirs. Well, 1.5 of theirs, because the Grenadine Drone was free. But so just going for the rally for just 6 damage. See, this could be 12 damage. Grenadine Drone last turn.
And will they play out the Grenadine Drone end of this turn? No, still holding on to it.
This feels like define what their win condition is here. That their win condition is not to like trade efficiently against Allison's removal spells. It's just to try and kill them before they become relevant.
And Allison drew the Hailstorm, which will make this Grenadine Drone sad whenever it actually does get played.
Not blocking.
Do they want for Sword of the Sky Keep? They just want that extra power for now?
Possibly it. But when they play Hailstorm this turn, Chaos can respond with Torch to kill the Merchant anyway. Not really sure they gained anything by not blocking, because they were always going to play that Hailstorm. I guess they were hoping to draw an undepleted land off the top. Oh, well, if Allison a face Aegis, board will still get answered by the Obliterate. Or back for now. This is the kind of board state that lose. Yeah, that makes sense, but it's now your only way of killing Sword is now gone, so that's game over.
Yeah, they were trying to get the Obliterate in before Faith Aegis comes into play, I believe. Which would have just...
But I think sometimes
they have a merchant.
but did whatever they did. There's no criticism really of their play, because once Temporal has a hand full of cards, you know they've got at least 3 different ways of killing whatever you put on the board.
Alright, then Kalios picks up a Heart of the Vault.
I mean, it's the best card you can have in this position, but now Allison can just Vanquish and swing in for 8. Double Channel the Tempest in hand is going to be lethal, so very, very quickly. Unless they have a disjunction in their market.
Vault of the
Praxis. Nope, they do not. They're on Manu S's list, I think.
Oh, so I guess the Vault of the Praxis was tech versus Temporal Control in particular. So you can keep swarming the board.
Seems an odd choice. I think this is just sent the 11 damage at face, but there we go. Oh, I guess they didn't want to go down to 3 armor. This is fairly moot. That next channel will be lethal.
I don't think there's any way for Kalos to get out of that slump. Temple Scribe into Temple Scribe into Temple Scribe, I suppose. Gain 3 health.
Yeah. It's written right. Yes, they can't even play the Obliterate. That's what they really need.
Picks up a rally. Not going to do anything.
And comes the... But this isn't a major problem for Kalos, because I don't think they were expecting to beat Temporal anyway. Test is whether Allison can get Crag.
Yeah, Sky Crag aggro is going to have trouble versus both of Kalios' decks.
Interesting. With just Conquest generally, of it's a real danger to bring a deck like Sky Crag that has range of weaknesses, because you just turn up with a list with a lineup that it beats your deck,
and you have no way of really playing around it to get there at that point.
Like the really solid decks are not necessarily the ones that are just boringly good matchups, but rather the ones that act on lots of angles. So like with Temporal, they're probably only going to have maybe one deck in their lineup that's properly favored against Temporal. Sky Crag, they could easily have like Mid range or
Some madman brings armory.
we'll see if Tony G starts coming to these tournaments again.
Die with honor.
Oh, and I forgot to give a shout out. We had, what was that? Dr. Pringle subscribed to the channel. So thank you for the sub. We really appreciate it. So let's go back into the game now. And I got a Twitch. Actually got a Twitch chest. Premium bad news.
Bad news yesterday.
I think that's pretty good news for me.
Looks like a pretty nice draw for Kalos. So many blockers. They've.
Wield the flames.
Pyro
This
Knight.
is. Alison's only real hope is going to be Vadius with a weapon equipped through all of Kalos's stuff. But.
Yeah.
Is.
You're just forced to take all of this. You don't want to trade your 2-1s for their 1-1s, but I guess that's what you're going to have to do at this point.
Kalos has a lot of 1-1s.
Champion Fury is good for Allison, but not enough to bring her back out of this.
It slows down the development of her Vadius, which is the only unit that push through this board.
Kalos might not even want to block too much here because they have a rally and they can just crack back for lethal.
But Kalos isn't really the aggro in this matchup. They don't need to take that risk.
That's also true.
Trade-off. Yeah.
Kalos can play this in a lot of different ways if she wants to win. She has a lot of options right now.
I think see a rally this turn, but I could be wrong. I think we're just going to see a Temple Scribe and a Teacher come down.
Yep.
Sequencing there because they might have drawn something like a torch or whatever that they wanted to play with the Temple Scribe. So they should have played the Temple Scribe first rather than the difference. And now with that.
Champion gets some weapons on it, but it just eats a 3/3.
Because it gets traded off, and it's again there's this Vadius that's not getting deployed. I mean, Alison's in real trouble. She loses the late game. She's losing the race. So
yeah, there's not much she can do to come back from this. This is not one of those gift the battle lists that can get lethal out of nowhere.
Lethal.
Oh, Kalos picked that win up real quickly.
So that expected it to go that Skycrag just has trouble pushing through all of these tokens.
Yeah, so the last matchup
can end the game very quickly.
The last matchup will be Found Scream versus Skycrag aggro. This, I think, is still favored for Kalo's side of Found Scream. If she can get some Rangers down, get down lifesteal, Skycrag is going to have trouble getting in the last points of damage in.
Does have permafrost, so they do have a prop. That is basically their clutch here. They're going to try and permafrost the Rindras and just keep pressing. The blocking in the air. So these turns where you scream a berserk thing and play rapid shot on it in the game.
And we will see how that plays out. The players are in game at the moment. Allison has a lot of Yetis. And turn And a Dusk Raider, she can't really play it on curve though because these are both depleted powers.
I think enough about what risks you want to take as a Skycrag aggro. This is a great hand if it is going second. So if they do draw a sigil, it's a great hand. Right, and take that risk.
Kalos, on the other hand, also has Yetis, but she does not have the key Rindra right now.
Okay, so this is... So they didn't get that land, but they do at least have Permafrost, so they can deal with... but there's already a mirror image to get the next.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I believe the Rindra is
awesome.
in the market, so Kalos can just go and grab that and mirror image it directly.
Turn too late, which was a real shame for Allison.
This is a bit of a familiar board. Two Yetis on both sides, just staring each other down.
And it's an interesting decision that Kalos has to make here as to assessing what her role is. Does she attack with these Yetis? Does she leave them back to block?
I kind of like playing out the Bloodset Avasaur first, gives you more chance to draw power off the Nightfall. And if you draw something you don't really want, you can just throw it back with Genève Merchant.
And then the Merchant is going to be looking at grabbing...
Allison plays the Permafrost on the 3/3. That's one less Permafrost for the Rindra that may be coming out soon.
So I think Kalos holds back with the Merchant for another turn, just plays down the 4/4, or maybe the Blood Scent instead.
She just wants to draw
I think
power
Kalos
right now.
really wants to use this Merchant to grab a Rindra. You know, the 4/4 is a relevant body.
This city will burn. Wield the flame.
Probably take a trade there.
Can't see any reason not to take that trade. And now, so now we're going to see the Merchant coming down and fetching a Rindra.
And then he also has Mirror Image to back it up next turn. Kalos going to
Once that chain of Rindra and then Mirror Image getting another Rindra, the life gain is just going to get out of hand. The Allison will draw the requisite with this, so we will see. But Zerking unit, but it's not going to match up well against a 5/5 lifesteal.
Once Vedius can activate his ultimate and get a Steel Fang Chakram, she can attack through the Rindras if she wants to.
Interesting choosing. It's an interesting choice to attack with these because both of them are pretty powerful. You know, Pyro Knight's about to ultimate. Dusk Raider's is just giving you value. They can only kill one of them.
Yeah.
You might, yeah.
Pyro Knight in particular can block Rindra once she ultimates. So Kalos decides to get rid of that right now instead.
It's the Permafrost anyway, so that Pyro Knight wasn't ever really. So the Allison is a choice to swing. Lost.
Rampage is good.
Valid. Yeah, and now they can play Rampage on Sansari Brigand, and that's... Oh no, that's lethal!
That was... She found it.
That Nightfall... Oh wait, did I... No, I didn't yet.
Wait. There you go.
Whew. That was a lot of damage out of nowhere.
Yeah, that Permafrost came in clutch for Allison, able to stop that lifesteal and pick up the lethal before.
The caused a draw of Permafrost Rampage, which was the exact
Yeah, that
So,
was the exact set of cards she needed.
yes, that was
really great for Allison.
yeah, and they really made the right decision with the earlier turn for that merchant, setting up a clear board for the brigands to charge through. So they really were playing to their outs. Allison for identifying the things that were.
Yeah, without that combination of cards, Allison would have had a lot of trouble dealing with the Rindra and the Mirror Image Rindra. But she found
You
lethal.
could have sat back and gone, well, my Duskgrave is giving me all this value. My Pyro Knight's about to become a 6/5. But then mine doesn't. Whilst Sansari Brigand and a combat trick into an empty board, if I draw removal as well, does win you the game. Yeah, going in for the attack to set up that lethal kill the next turn.
That's probably the only thing that would have won him the game would have hurt the game at that point. So that was the last match of the round. All the other players have finished. Gumby won over Notorious GHP, Isocron, and Dr. Pringle. I think Dr. Pringles won over Isocron, and Kaleo and Allison just won over Kalios. So we'll catch you for round 4 of the ECL Sunday Challenge, and we'll see you soon. Hello
to
and welcome
round
back
4.
to round 4. We're here with Gumby Man and Allison. These are the two undefeateds for this round, coming out for the final round of the Swiss portion of this ECL event. Praxis Inspire was banned on Gumby Man's part, and Allison got her Skycrag aggro deck banned.
Get to see the Scream OTK deck out of Allison, so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, most of the time the players ban that right away. But Gummy Man says, I'm okay with that. I can deal with Scream all day. I don't want to deal with Skycrag though.
They're just worried about underneath all of their decks. Or underneath Allison's decks with Skycrag.
Yeah, I quite like this lineup. There's some fun decks here. Recano Valkyrie is a bit of a meta choice. It's normal. But Gummy Man's Skycrag aggro deck includes Acquisitive Crow and Crunch. So I'm really excited to see that play out.
Hasn't really been much innovation in Skycrag aggro for a long time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this sort of off the wall build looks. Then the
Acquisitive
Valkyrie
Crow
list
may
is
be the
very
tech we
standard
need
as far as I can tell.
to deal with the temporal menace. You get free spells. It has Berserk. Okay. So I will be getting Gummy Man soon, and we will be jumping into game in a bit once we get that ready. If you're Allison, what deck would you want to run out at first?
So on Zombie Man is probably trying to target temporal in the first wave. So I mean I have no idea what Allison's matchups are for Allison's Scream deck, because that's don't know the Scream deck well enough to really say. Gumby Man is probably going to lead with Skycrag aggro.
Yeah, if you're Allison, I think it would be safe to assume that Gummy Man is playing Skycrag aggro, so you would probably want to play your JPS Scream deck instead and try and OTK them.
Because I think the Scream deck will struggle more against Valkyries just because they've got things in the air. A Scream Drogon's Disciple or that sort of thing. So
Okay, so the players are in game, and we'll see what they decided to run as their first stuff. Ooh, Allison actually decided to go with temporal control.
So they're just going for the safe start off with.
But is it safe if there's a Skycrag aggro deck looming on the horizon?
And this hand is definitely a mulligan for Allison.
Yeah, this has
yeah.
no power. She can't cast any of the stuff she actually really wants to. Gumby Man, on the other hand, has a great hand. He decided to play his Skycrag aggro deck. He had a turn 1 Oni Ronin, turn 2 Champion of Fury, and a turn 3 Dusk Raider if he wants. So he's in a great spot there.
Yeah, so this could end up working out very well for Gumby Man if they can beat Temporal, and then that frees up Volcano Valkyries, which has a fairly oral matchup, but favored against the Scream deck.
Players may be waiting for the go ahead. So I'll just let them know that they can start. So Gummy Man knows that he can start now. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're still waiting. They may be deciding whether to keep or maul. But Gummy Man, I think this is a snap keep for Gummy Man, and I think that's a snap maul for Allison. So
Yeah, yeah, I can't see. Like, they're still just banking on drawing exactly what you need and then using Hailstorm, but
yeah, that's one route if you're Allison. Just get strategized, try and get the second primal influence, and just Hailstorm on 4. Allison decides to throw it away, picks up another Hailstorm, which is good for them, but they don't have the primal
and
influence to play Hailstorm or strategize.
no primal on the top either.
Gummy Man on
This
the
could be
heavy.
okay, they got a primal. Okay, they're not. It's not over yet.
And the first primal lets you strategize to find the second primal.
And they keep a Wisdom of the Elders on the top of their deck.
That's yeah, I would have thrown that away right away.
Yeah, I think that might have been a mistake. Have a lot of looks at getting a second primal.
They didn't strategize?
Oh,
Okay, they're hoping for
they
Desert
have
Marshal.
to hold up the Desert Marshal at this point. Yeah, a keep.
They have Champion of Fury into Champion of Fury into Champion of Fury. I don't
Understand why they played the sigil instead of the crest. I guess they're trying to represent having torch, but
because then next turn you would have been able to play 2 threats.
Yeah, okay. So Allison has a half roll. So second primal. Okay, they're looking like they can survive this first wave. Heavy man sequencing of their power might come to help them because it means that they don't get as blown out by this half roll. Was why Yeti on the top of their deck and they wanted to keep it there, so they didn't want to play the crest.
Okay. Play out the charging Champion of Fury. Gets them down to 4.
Nightfall plus torch is the keep that great parliament on top. You just need blockers. Yeah. And on the top.
Alright, play out the Dusk Raider and the Yeti.
Hold back
maybe
the
not.
Yeti here.
You can hold the Yeti and get exhaust any blocker that comes down.
Here, Allison has to choose. Okay, so they're going to play out the. But this is going to cause them to go down to 1 life.
Oh, that's a torch.
And they're short.
Picks
So
up
that's
lethal off the top.
Their various things that they just drew are lethal. So
It's just trying to show off everything that they have. Letting Allison know that she was super dead.
Yep.
So Gummy Man picks up a win with the Skycrag aggro deck. He just needs to finish it off with Volcano Valkyries, and he would be undefeated for the Swiss portion. But Allison knows.
Yeah. I mean, Allison doesn't. It doesn't matter which deck Allison picks here because they pick the JPS screen, so we at least get a guaranteed look at that deck.
That we've been waiting all day to see this JPS screen list.
could see them running out temporal control. I mean, I'm still pretty sure they're going to win with temporal control because it's quite an uphill battle as Valkyries against temporal. You've got Akara, you've got Rodent's intervention, but any sweepers.
Yeah, they have Scorpion Wasp specifically to deal with cards like Akari. So we'll see what they play out. Gumby Man is back into game.
Looks like, yeah, Allison is sticking with temporal. We're now in the awkward situation of we have to cheer for the temporal list if we're going to get to see her.
I think that's a keep on Allison's part. She has Scorpion Wasp and a great Parliament to deal with Flyers later.
You've got double Justice, you've got double Time, you've got double Primal.
Yep, that's everything you need in this deck, pretty much.
Okay, I'm not quite paid attention properly to Gumby Man's list. They are running Gopperhole Bracers, which is cute. This matchup, but it's certainly an interesting card to be running.
Yeah, it does give you, lets you ramp up faster to your big stuff. If it gets some hits in.
I ran with Copperhole Bracers, but I kind of ran out of Shiftstone.
Copperhole Bracers, I think, is pretty strong. Maybe not so much in this shell, but in other shells that lets you get some surprise damage in while replacing itself with power.
You want to pair it with is something like Gift of Battle, but the problem is if you're in a Horu, if you're running Pacifier, so that's...
It's also good with another card I think is actually really great right now, Iron Fist Chancellor. You can just keep copying these bracers on and give all your units vulnerable to damage.
Using deck that Manu S played on stream a few weeks ago, where he had an iron that he ended up on ladder. He had an Iron Fist Chancellor and a Vanquisher's Blade, constantly copying his Chancellor and killing a unit, and copying his Chancellor and killing a unit.
Yeah, that card is deceptively strong. Allison sees a Primal Influence, throws it away. We have Find the Way. We can get it whenever we want. That's kind of awkward there. You throw away a Primal Influence to the bottom.
I'm confused as to why they didn't play the right away to prevent this ramp, because you can see that Gumby Man is struggling for power. So just stop them using Akari's ability.
Yeah, and you would take away both sources of ramp with the Bullet Shaper and Akaria, and that would definitely cut them off.
Hailstorm would have done the same trick. Yeah, so I think that might mistake, especially since now with Akaria's ability, it means that things like Valkyrie Enforcer or Spire Guard in Hailstorm range. That's something to consider as well with Little Akaria's effect.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Desert Marshal gets rid of the vulnerable to damage, so that's going to be an awkward block.
I think you had to well, maybe you could have just taken the 5, but it was at least a good idea to silence it, I think.
They could have equivocated, but that would have removed the spell for another unit.
Yeah, because if they'd gotten the extra power, that would have then also meant that they had Roland's Intervention live. It would have meant that all of their expensive stuff would have been live. Bullet Shaper, yeah, I don't think they have.
Did they activate it beforehand? I wasn't paying attention then.
I think
Let me check. Nope, ultimate is active.
the full value here, and I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. Down a melee with, so that's useful.
Amelie is very, very strong versus temporal control. She can start taking over the board state just by herself if they don't have a swift answer.
The amusing thing as well with Vention is it counters all forms of removal that temporal run. So reduce the attack on the Scorpion Wasp. A nice one.
Oh yeah, you can do that. I didn't even notice
So
that
use
portion of it.
Torch the first time for on the first Scorpion Wasp. Oh, okay, okay. To still have led with a melee. Okay, what are they
Torch
doing?
right away. I don't think you needed to do that.
Yeah.
That sets you up
Gone
for
for
a
a
hard
melee.
rule this turn.
Face.
And
Yeah.
I don't like the Roland's intervention there either.
Because you want to use that to protect your valuable units. Magus is
Lunar
not the
Magus
worst.
isn't a bad
They could
draw.
have got. I'm gonna play out the Amelie, I would have thought.
Wing and
Oh,
blade.
okay. They're not doing that. Do here.
Okay, that opens him up to channel the Tempest as a removal spell. And that always feels the
Trying
worst.
to wait until of removal before playing a melee, but that's not a strategy that versus temporal.
Temporal always has the removal. That's another channel the Tempest as a removal spell. What is that, a 3-for-1?
A half
4-for-1?
and a permafrost and a vital. Yeah, this is looking very comfortable for Allison.
Wing and blade.
Yeah, once Temporal starts chaining Channel the Tempest on you, that's when the game is really starting to close out.
And with the vital arcanas, it's just so sad. You see all of that damage that you worked to put on them go away, and they're back to full health, and no real way to push through this.
Gummy is playing a version of the Rakano Valkyries that runs Harsh Rule, which is particularly bad versus Temporal Control.
Yeah. Anything like Deep Forge Plate in their market, which can sometimes be a surprise lots of damage, especially with permafrosts. So next turn we'll be able to play Great Parliament for 3 owls, and I don't really see do after that. I mean, they can Harsh Rule.
Yeah, the Harsh Rule will save them there if they decide to do that.
Rise up or be cut down.
Possibly find the ways rather than holding up Scorpion Wasp. They did take a risk there that has punished them.
Okay. But even if he draws whatever Ikaria gets off there, I don't think he has weapons to buff with
I don't
Ikaria.
agree with playing that merchant. I'd have just played the Great Parliament so I was safe as a second Ikaria. Maybe a 10-10 Ikaria. Then at least I can triple block it.
He doesn't get punished this turn for doing that. So he's alive. He plays
Now
Temporal.
it's all over because they can play Great Parliament.
Yeah. There are few things more painful than an instant speed ambush Great Parliament.
Now with that merchant, it makes 5. Wait, hang on, it's every 4, isn't it? So they're 1 mana short of making 4.
They could hold the Great Parliament for one more turn to make 5 each.
Now at the end of turn, they can play both Great Parliaments and swing in for lethal.
To glory!
So
Okay, they didn't
Choose
do it.
not to, which is interesting.
Trying to get as much value off of
They've
this.
they've got a permafrost on the top of their deck. Plan is just to Parliament at the end of this turn, a permafrost at the beginning of their next turn, win.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And that's a lethal swing. Allison picks up another win versus. That was her first win.
Yeah.
The score was mixed up for a bit.
Rakano Valkyries versus JPS Scream.
I'm excited for this matchup. We get to see JPS Scream in all of his glory. Flying Railgun's Disciples with jump kick. I'm happy. What else is that deck run?
Oh, look.
Okay, it does run Haunting Scream, Mirror Image, Unstable Form, Permafrost, Gift of Battle. That's pretty much the default Feln Genève Merchant market for a Scream deck.
Wrong person, that's why I can't find this deck.
It does run Acquisitive Crow, so I'm doubly excited. That's one of my favorite cards of the set.
Never gotten round to brewing with Inquisitive Crow. It's just like in this game.
I know that's one of the things I love about Eternal. There's always more things to brew with. It doesn't feel stale, even months into a new set.
Really excited about them because I feel like the tier 1 of this format has gotten a little bit stale.
Yeah, it's gonna have great impact on the metagame, and I think for the better with the new Varus coming out that can remove Aegis. Feln might be more popular. Some of these Aegis decks.
Pointing out, Feln essentially is getting a Sandstorm Titan.
Shadowstorm Titan. Yeah.
So
it gets immediate value as soon as you drop her. Changes the board state completely.
Yeah, and like and the other thing that's possible is that, you know, Scream decks might get something major out of because they always struggled with Sheltering Rider. Is
the
most comprehensive answer to Sheltering Rider you could imagine.
That's the one thing I'm sad about with the Wraith of the New Era. I like to play Sheltering Riders, but I would take that sacrifice for the betterment of the game.
It's going to be really interesting. But anyway, we have a game.
Allison has the influence she needs to play out Genève Merchant, but she doesn't have any of the other great Scream targets on hand.
And has a Sabotage, which will not do particularly well against Gumby Man's hand, and be a little bit sad if they... But I guess they should just play it anyway, because they haven't got anything better to do.
Yeah,
so
but this little Akaria is going to be doing a lot of work combined with these two Valkyrie Enforcers that can act as a roadblock versus any Scream and silence.
This is the problem I was imagining in this matchup of just kick doesn't give you any evasion against the Flyers deck.
Yeah, it's just going to run into all these Valkyrie captains and enforcers.
They're going to have to... I don't think they can play this as sort of an OTK deck. And I would envisage them actually putting away jump kick with Merchant right now from their market.
Something catch your eye.
But
Yeah, and try and just rely on your combat tricks to slowly get in through.
they get mirror image. That makes the most sense, I think. Lets them dip into the market a second time if they need to.
Mirror Image has been one of the cards that has most increased in value with the release of the new set and merchants.
It could see a lot of play at the end of the last set as well, with Kamato putting it in his TJP Flyers decks.
Yeah, because the TJP Flyers didn't have enough 3-drops for some reason. The deck was just mono 3-drops.
Yeah, well, it just turns out that 8 Sheltering Riders is better than 4.
Gummy Man picks up a new power. It's depleted, but he is able to play out the Razan the next turn and kill one of these units.
I just can't see how Allison's pushing through this. Yeah, Gummy Man can now
Face judgment.
the Courier again. And Gummy Man's only played one spell this game, I think. Ooh, that's at least nice.
I think you might have wanted to attack with the Unaegis unit first. Oh no, never mind. It will still be in Razan range. Ignore what I just said.
Well, what they could have done is play a Gift of Battle, because that will trigger Paladin Oathbook twice. It won't be in Razan range. But I think just Gummy Man's deck has even tools like Harsh Rule. So I can see the logic in just making the Aegis unit be the with that.
Yeah, Valkyrie Enforcer opens up another unit, gets rid of the permafrost.
But it's just generally like I think they're win con here. Big Gift of Battle turn with combat tricks. The combat trick is just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, it really feels bad whenever you have to use a defensive Finest Hour.
And this was, if you remember the Kalos play from earlier today, or I guess that merchant die and scream it back rather than have the other merchant die and scream it back. But it's looking good for. This is quite a scary Gumby Man. With that
Okay.
seat, I think it's over.
Yeah, there's nothing really Allison can do to come back from here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Allison. There's no reason to take any risks. Keep the Ikaria back. It's completely guaranteed lethal.
And there we go. Gummy Man finds the last one he needed with Carnal Valkyries. And he's the last person who is undefeated in the Swiss portion. We will have a cut.
Gumby Man.
Yeah, great job. We will have a cut to top 4, so we're going to be seeing these two players once again.
Do we know our top 4 by now? Chaos won against Electro. Taurus, GHP, and Dr. Pringles are still going.
Yeah.
Like, the top 4, I think, is going to be Gumby Man, Allison, Kalos, and whoever wins out of Dr. Pringles and Notorious GHP.
We may just jump into them as a feature match, but they're not in game right now. They may have ended it right now.
They have finished and they just haven't reported their results.
They're either between games or they have finished their last game. I am not quite sure.
You veer us when we know what's going on.
I'll send them a message and see what going on. Okay, they have finished their last game, but have forgotten to report apparently. The Taurus GHP will be our
GHP.
last top four winner. Okay, so we're gonna head on to a break for a second. Everybody else have finished their matches, and this Swiss portion has ended. When we come back from the break, we're gonna be seeing the top four, and we're gonna jump into the semifinals of this ECL Sunday Challenge. See you.
to the semi-finals of the ECL Sunday Challenge. Gumby Man again versus Suno, who we haven't seen too much of today.
Yeah, Suno's running big practice, sound treatment to poor control. Poor control was banned, so we're going to see the Scream in practice list. On Gumby's side, we have Ricano Valkyrie's banned, so he's going to be playing his practice list and Skycrag aggro.
Yeah, this is going to be lineup.
Yeah, both players have a practice mid-range deck and an aggro deck as backup. Who do you think
So I'm not sure actually how the players are going to choose to sequence this, because
who do you think has the advantage in this matchup? Basically, which one of their side decks are better against practice mid-range?
the ordinary practice mid-range, isn't it? From Suno. And Praxis is a little bit the Inspire Zuberi style one. So I think Skycrag aggro famously loses to Storm Titan.
Yeah, that's true. Permafrost does not deal with the endurance units.
We know that Skycrag to beat Feln Scream before they start just like hitting with these Rindras. And I think or that Gumby Man's Gumby Man is going to have to try and sneak out a win with the Skycrag aggro, while Suno has Feln is going to be better at beating Praxis. Skycrag is going to be at beating Praxis. So,
yeah, Feln has access to cards like Annihilate, which are really mana efficient answers to Sandstorm Titan, which is what Feln Scream is most scared of.
Yeah, like if Praxis can't stick a Titan, then they have very little that can stop Scream for Rindra, make that Rindra Berserk, hit for a ton of life drain, and just doesn't have that much in the way of life gain either.
Yeah, notably, Gumby Man does not have a Sandstorm Scarf in the market to deal with these Scream shenanigans.
So that's going to be a real problem, I think, for Gumby Man. I think Gumby Man's decks are not lining up well against what Suno is offering. I'll lead with Feln Scream here. Against both of these matchups, whilst the big Praxis deck could lose to the Praxis Inspire deck. So players are at mulligan, so we'll be entering in soon.
Just checking that out.
Okay, and we are. Suno did indeed lead with Feln.
And Gummy Man chose the Skycrag aggro list. Gummy Man's Skycrag aggro list, I think, is not favored in this matchup, but it can sneak out a win once it gets into long games and stuff.
Sun sneak out that incredible 18 damage in one turn win against Feln Berserk, so it can be done.
Especially now that Gummy Man is on the play instead of the draw. In these aggressive mirror matches, the play draw really matters a lot more than it usually does.
Good lineup. They're getting the Shogun Scepter on the Aegis unit. Something was a turn 2 Champion of Fury.
This Nuyeti can come down and pop the Aegis of the Geneve Merchant. If he draws another power, he can put down Permafrost as well or use a combat trick to look
Yeah,
to it.
what is the cost on the weapon in Gumby Man's hand? I think it costs
2.
3 to use all of the effects.
Yeah, 3 to use piercing shot, and then 1 for the long barrel. So it's a 4 drop for everything.
Great for the attack. Yeah, that makes sense because they're going to be playing. Probably going to be playing Crunch.
My boy Crunch. And he can protect it with a permafrost to get in some damage in and activate infiltrate.
He's going to play Pummel and keep alive the Snowcraft yet.
That lets him get another Warcry in next turn.
Yeah, I think possibly just playing the Crunch was the better line. Because you keep that combat trick for when it can be more effective. It uses your mana more efficiently, and it lets you draw cards next turn. But I can see why they might want to prioritize the Warcry.
So it picks up a permafrost from the market, which will be able to get this Crunch when it comes down.
The issue that Suno is going to have is that Gumpy Man does have that permafrost for the Windra.
Yeah, that's basically the best answer you can have for a Rendra because it stops them from getting.
Gumpy Man's going to get a lot of tempi here because I'm playing Rindra, then it will get permafrosted. Suno then might take another turn playing Darkstalker, and it'll get tapped. It'll get exhausted by Cinder Yeti. So Gumby Man might get a lot of turns of attacking whilst Suno's not really doing anything, and that could be decisive.
Yes, Suno, I think. No, Gummy Man is still deciding what to do with his turn. No, it's still on Suno's turn.
No, it's still Suno's turn. Suno's deciding whether or not to permafrost.
Oh, he uses it right away.
I don't necessarily disagree with this. Okay, cost. Oh, I see why they did that. That's interesting.
So did he crest and see that a long bear was on top? No.
And now it's difficult for Suno. Play down they're almost certainly going to play down the Windra. The Nightfall trigger will end up putting them on 8, so they have to block. But
I think Suno's banking on blocking and getting Dark Return for an extra Rendra, but Permafrost will put a damper on that plan.
Permafrost, the Windra, they can.
He's forced to block here, but that still doesn't really save him.
Yeah, this is exact lethal. From the Nightfall and the 8 damage from the Overwhelm is lethal.
Gummy Man found a way to get the damage in.
You're wrong. Maybe Feln is not favored against Skycrag because we've said it twice. And it's been wrong twice.
It's the Permafrost that has really both games we saw Skycrag versus Feln. Permafrost is what stopped Rendra from getting the lifesteal through.
That's got to be a big relief for Gumby Man that they got the win with the Skycrag when Suno has a Sandstorm Titan deck.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He can play his Praxis versus their Praxis, or he can play his Praxis versus Feln Scream and try and get Sandstorm Titan down to win.
Yeah,
Either way, it's a better matchup.
Very much of the Praxis mirror match will be an interesting one because I've not seen it really before.
Especially with these slight differences between the deck lists. One of them is running Zuberi, and the other one is running that's the normal stuff. Owlhead.
Gummy Man's list running Magus of Celerity.
Yes, the Gummy Man is also running Magus, so he can be more of aggressive. He has Xenon Obelisk to put him over the top with his unit stats.
Yeah, I could see Gumby Man faring off fairly well against Suno's Praxis. So okay, Suno's starting off with the Thumb Berserk. We felt like this was probably favoured. Either way, Gumby Man can get.
Yeah, especially whenever you're talking about a deck like the Scream deck, you can never count them out no matter what the matchup is, because they can and will find lethal out of nowhere.
Foul beast!
So Gumby Man at least has Torch. Okay, they're not going to do it. There's an argument for holding the Torch and try and bait out a rapid shot onto the elf to play the crest that is the Torch at the end of turn.
Okay, so it goes into the market. He may be looking for a gift of battle to try and find OTK lethal.
Do they have an unstable form in their market?
They do.
I want to think
Pretty sure.
about switching off Sandstorm Titan at the right moment. I think so. The last time I looked at their market, I can't remember.
Yeah, they have unstable form. They do not have mirror image, which I'm surprised by. It's like Suno. I think Suno was a big fan of these mirror image turns. Or was that second blue I'm thinking of?
Second Blue has probably played this deck the most at the highest level. Seen Suno play it as often. Suno's really thinking about this.
He picks up another range.
That I can see the logic behind that. Ooh, but it's going to get immediately punished. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure about getting the second range just because Praxis has a bunch of big static units that can block it easily. If the first ranger is not getting through, the second ranger is probably not doing anything as well.
I mean, I guess they were just hoping that Gumby Man would spend this turn maybe playing a Zuberi or something.
Yeah,
Overpowered.
It does line up well versus that.
Of course, now that they've drawn the maybe you want to save Merchant grabbing Rindra for when you've got a Dusk Raider in play, so it immediately gets the Berserk. This is going to be difficult, I think, for Suno. They haven't quite got to push past.
Yeah, they need something like an Annihilate to kill the Sandstorm Titan and open up his rangers to get through.
I don't agree with that attack, though. Because now their Scream is live. Sandstorm Titan, which was any real prospects of pressure, is...
Yeah, so now Suno has a lot more options to play around here. He can start turning Scream and try getting lethal in. He can start playing out his Dusk Raiders and setting up some Berserk turns.
Playing Scream wouldn't be a good idea this turn because it's only 5 damage. You really want to wait.
If you count the Nightfall, yeah.
You really want to wait until you have maybe a Gift of Battle to pair with it, or you know, these sorts of things. Up the other Rindra.
Chooses to attack here. He's probably going to drop another blocker soon. But if Suno draws into removal,
is a really bad news for Suno, I think. Choice that Suno is taking to block here. Temple Tactic.
I'm not sure I like the Temple Tactic here. You could have saved that to deal with any rapid shot, Berserk shenanigans later on in the turn.
Well, I guess the issue is if they go for like a big Scream turn where they play like a Gift of Battle or something, Temple Tactic the Scream target, then you've just put a flying charge unit into their hand.
Yeah. That is true.
That wasn't a bad idea.
You can get rid of rapid shots, but you can't get rid of the Berserk.
draws the Annihilate.
City will burn.
Probably wants to keep hold of that. Oh no, just doesn't want to let Gumby Man play any more power off of. This is looking really, really promising for Gumby Man.
Yeah, once he dropped his Thundering Carousel, anytime Suno's trying to do any sort of shenanigans, he's gonna start just getting more value off of it.
I mean, that might not be the most impactful thing, because the turn that we're going to see a flurry of spells out of
Yeah.
Suno is the turn. Oh, that's weird. Playing the charge Dawnwalker post combat. But it had charge.
Okay.
Have a whole bunch of spells in Suno's hand.
Sono draws Gift of Battle, but he doesn't have the second power to be able to activate Cabal Tactics to try and find lethal.
They could play Haunting Scream, Gift of Battle, and just try and gain. But yeah, I think I agree with this first. Play the. It's not going to work out for them because of the Carousel. But maybe they'll draw Permafrost off the top.
Gumby Man draws 2 Zuberries.
Playing the Carousel over the 2 Suberries. You just want something that can block this Windra. Okay, well, they get to turn on the Cabal Tactic at least. But Carousel's just too big.
Yeah, even if you use Cabal Tactics to try and get Rigid through, it's still... Rapid Shot does kill it, though.
So if they need... they have it. They keep the Rapid Shot on top. Turn. And then Scream, Rapid Shot, Gift of Battle is 18 damage plus 1 from Nightfall.
Yeah, I don't think Gumby Man has any way of getting life back to stop that.
So Gumby Man has to draw Sandstorm Titan this turn. Or when that flurry of spells happen, they hit like Double Torch or Temple Tactic.
Mm-hmm.
These are their outs, but burst out for a lot of damage here.
You can choose to play a unit here, or you can choose to not play any of the Nightfall in to stop them from drawing something like a Sandstorm Titan. Deny them 1 draw.
Yeah, see them playing a non-Nightfall unit. Their combo is really hard to interact with, so they don't have to like read that this is what they're doing. The idea should really be to just not die this turn, and they're on 18 life, so they're pretty safe. Not die, and don't let Gumby Man draw enough cards to have a Sandstorm Titan.
Uh-huh. So he's thinking through his turn.
Yeah.
Make no sound.
They're taking the risk. I don't understand. They've missed. Okay, they didn't spot that lethal. I think they didn't spot that lethal.
They didn't play. Okay.
The centaurs ride to war. The centaurs ride to war.
So now you have to deal with this entire board. You
Yeah,
can't
that
survive for a
was
turn.
confused. Attacked with everything. that they're tapped out. They've attacked with everything. All you need to do is have Rindra survive. Fine as the 4. So Gumby Man has just missed the lethal threat from. And they're completely tapped out, so now it doesn't matter what they draw off of the carousel. So yes, this is over.
Yeah, Suno definitely spots the lethal. He finds it and ends the game right away. Gummy Man cannot even get a torch off to try and finish it off.
This is lethal in so many different ways. Like the board state currently is lethal.
Okay, Suno picks that win up with his Sunscreen deck. The last matchup of this set will be Praxis versus Praxis.
Be interesting. Suno is favored. Aegis of celerities and such are not going to line up as well against the bigger units. But Gumby Man could be active enough to make that not matter.
In this mirror matchup, Gummy Man he has Zuberries, and does he have Owlhead? He does not run Owlhead. Zuberry gives all your units double damage, and Owlhead just doubles the stats of all your units.
Owlhead is brilliant for breaking time mirrors. You just put down a 10-12 Sandstorm Titan, and then that blocks everything.
Yeah, I think doubling the stats of your units is better than double damage, which is effectively just doubling one of the stats of your units.
I've tried to make Zuberry work in multiple decks, and it's just not quite there. It's a real shame because it's a really cool card, but
he suffers from the problem of you have to draw whatever you get the Warcry trigger off of to actually get any value.
The other problem of you often don't want to attack with your Inspire unit because it will just get killed, and then it's not getting you your value. So it's
the two portions of the text are competing with each other for which playstyle you want to do.
This'll do the trick.
Has gotten off to a very good start with turn 3 Sandstorm Titan.
That's my favorite time to drop a Sandstorm Titan.
Ooh, and yeah, it's going to be completely stonewall a teacher of humility, that's for sure.
Now, the only way they have to really deal with the opponent's Sandstorm Titans is their own plus a torch. Or killer. They have killer effects.
As Obelisk, so yeah. We might see a merchant here just to get that 6th power, so as to just eat the Sandstorm Titan with the Carnosaur. And yeah, there we go. If they choose to ship away that other merchant.
Both players are running.
Obelisk. And then just get Xene Initiation. Okay, yeah.
There you go.
Got the other merchant in hand. They can always get back the Obelisk if they need it to break a mirror. But right now, they're just going to try and put on as much pressure as possible.
And these teachers aren't looking so hot versus a 6/7 Sandstorm Titan.
Yeah, I mean, Gumby Man could triple block here. And that's something Suno is the prospect of that.
And he's thinking about whether he wants to stop that with a Carnosaur in hand.
Yeah, because on the one hand, it's a bit of a waste of a Carnosaur. I just want to or principle, they could go and fetch back the Obelisk they put away last turn, and it would double proc, and then they could swing in completely comfortably. Away the Sandstorm Titan to make that play.
Bringing back the obelisk.
That's exactly what they do. And now Gumby Man is in real trouble because I think their build is designed to be more of the aggro in this mirror. And they've got a bunch of 3/3s in hand, facing down an 8/9 and a couple of 3/6s. It's not looking good.
And even if he drops more units on the board, the Sandstorm Titan's still going to be bigger than whatever he drops.
He's going to play the. He's almost certainly going to play the Sandstorm Titan next turn, and it will get immediately eaten. Even if he had something bigger like a Worldbearer Behemoth, the Carnosaur's now an 8/8. This is a real problem for Gumby Man.
Gumby Man draws a power, but that's not doing much for him right now. There's a Zuberry on top. Zuberry's also not looking good. Can't attack him.
Oh, and another Carnosaur off the top. This is over.
Yep. Pretty much the best card in this time mirror matchup.
Tries to see an A space here. I think they won't because they want to keep the 8 power. But no, they just go for it. This is a really nasty board state.
Gummy Man is struggling to come back from this.
Yeah, well, it's just whatever they play next turn is going to get eaten. You know, Praxis. Praxis is just one of those mid-range decks that gets further and further ahead.
Okay, Gummy Man is down to 2. There's nothing that really saves him. Hammer Waystone plus Hard off the top still doesn't do it. He needs to play out 2 units to just block.
Okay, this is lethal. Game over.
Yep, Suno takes it 2-1 over Gummy Man in this semifinals match. Both players made it pretty far into the tournament and did well just by getting here.
How's the other side of the bracket going?
Allison won 2-0 versus Notorious GHP. So our finals match is going to be Suno versus Allison.
All right.
So we will be catching that shortly once everything updates. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna go into a small break and come back. And when we come back, you're gonna be seeing the finals of the ECL Sunday Challenge. See you soon. Hello and welcome back to the finals of the ECL Sunday Challenge. Players fought all day to get here, and they managed to make it. Allison brought Temporal Control, JPS Scream, and Skycrack Aggro. Sono brought Big Praxis, Found Scream, and Temporal Control. For the bands, Allison got her Temporal Control deck banned, and Sono got Big Praxis banned.
We've once again avoided the temporal mirror, so that's at least good.
Yeah, we don't want to sit here for 2 hours commentating on the same match.
And we still have JPS Scream to see what that looks like, especially since Suno doesn't have a deck like who was it before? With like there isn't a deck that just completely stonewalls that OTK, so it might well be able to.
Yeah, Allison letting Temporal Control through was a very good choice because both JPS Scream and Skycrack Aggro do really well versus Temporal.
Yeah, so the Suno's got to try and sneak out or control, which is an interesting thing to be saying. And then the Film Scream. Well, so it's it'll be interesting to see if we get a Scream mirror match as to which one deal more damage out of nowhere than the other. And I think Allison might well be favored. So I think Allison's JPS Scream deck is really going, if it works, and we haven't really seen it to see if it just fundamentally works as a deck. But if it does work, it should be favored against both of Suno's.
If you're Suno, which deck would you rather play your Temporal Control into? JPS Scream or Skycrack Aggro?
Because I've still got all of I've got Equivocates, I've got Scorpion Rofts, I've still got things I can do. Pro is just this mass of Aegis units.
Yeah,
I think.
So in that case, I think Sono should lead with his Found Scream deck and try and run into Allison's JPS Scream.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Found Scream has I say this, but every time I say this, Skycrack wins anyway. But I think Found Scream has a better matchup versus Skycrack. So
I think Suno might lead with Temporal just because that's the one that they are worried about getting a win with. And if Allison thinks that Skycrag isn't favored against Film Scream, they'll probably JPS Scream. So I think we could see JPS Scream versus Temporal be the first. But we'll see.
There's a lot of mind games involved in what deck you're going to pick first to play out.
Yeah. so we can head in soon.
Okay, both players did mulligan, but they have not played any card. We'll be getting into game whenever that is ready, as the players have.
Oh, okay, so Allison completely wrong. Allison led with Skycrack aggro, and Suno has led with Felm Scream.
So this is what I was expecting. Because I think Allison wanted to play the Skycrack aggro into Temporal, more likely. And Sono sniffed that out and played Felm Scream instead.
So this is now the third time we've seen this matchup on stream.
And every time we always get the winner wrong. So I'm gonna withhold my judgment at this point.
Yeah. It's really looking for a second fire here. Their hand is, I mean, if they don't get a third power, their hand is already a little bit sad, but so Suno, yeah, they've got a pretty good here. They can, okay, they don't even do that. They just shot off the Berserk.
Okay. That fire influence came in clutch, able to play this Vadius on 3.
And now can just equip up this Vadius and have a very hard to interact with threat.
Sono is still playing Nightfall cards every turn.
Is there a bug? Do they not have the Waystone in hand?
I'm not sure. He may be trying to hold it for an extra Nightfall with Rindra.
A little bit confused because you just want to get Rindra up and gaining life. So maybe they didn't actually have the undepleted fourth land and there's some bug.
Something catch your eye.
Plays out the Genev Merchant.
Okay. That's something like either Scream or Mirror Image or something of that look. Oh, Permafrost. Oh, I see. Their plan is to use a combat trick to break the Aegis on the Vadius. Oh no, they did have that.
Okay.
Maybe they just wanted to make sure they used that for Nightfall, but wanted to develop a Rindra and life.
He's been slow rolling that this entire game.
Has quite a threat of they play Brigand and then equip it with that long barrel.
Okay, this
Be
Vadius
careful.
has become very, very big.
But Vadius is about Suno is probably going to use Rapid Shot on Vadius at end of turn, and then Permafrost to Vadius.
Yeah, that's the line that makes the most sense with how he played this out.
It's to play a Rindra down. Currently, Allison has not used any Permafrosts, so they've got all of those lined up to. Is Suno thinking of just letting through the Vadius? I wouldn't agree with that. That's too much damage.
Yeah, 7 damage at this point would just leave you up to lethal in 3 different ways.
Yeah, especially. I mean, Their worry is some stuff like Brigand plus Permafrost, so they want to leave up that blocker. I don't know.
Picks up a Dark Return, which might just keep him back into this game if the Rindra can survive a turn or die and not get permafrosted.
Very few ways that Rindra is going to die that aren't like actually die rather than just get permafrosted. So big Dusk Raider.
That tags very well into this Rindra.
So
Okay,
they
gift
didn't
the
play anything. So their plan is to block the Rindra and play Rampage.
And that plan
Completely
will
blown
get
out
blown
by
out by
Rapid
Rapid Shot.
Suno playing Gift of Battle here, so that will really get blown out by Rapid Shot.
He spots the pause when playing the Gift of Battle.
This is... He should definitely go for Berserk here. There's no reason not to. Yep, so... Now... Yeah, Allison has a really tricky... So, by doing the double block, Allison will at least make Suno play their combat trick first, but it doesn't matter. Page only gives one more toughness, so it'll kill both of these.
Yeah. And even if you play Rampage, there's nowhere to put it that makes it safe. Sono's back to 27 health, started more than the starting life total.
This is just the thing of every time we've seen Berserk deck lose, it was because Rindra didn't get to attack.
Yeah, this entire matchup is just keyed around Rindra and Permafrost, respectively.
So
Die with honor.
now
This Permafrost is starting to look really, really good, giving him another Berserk.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Mirror Image played on the flyer. Cup lethal.
You can do that, or you can Mirror Image, get Scream on Geneve Merchant.
It works too.
That's the line Suno decides to go with.
Oh, that's lethal. Yeah, because that's the 1 damage from the Nightfall. The better line. And it's picking blocks.
Yeah, any block you pick is looking so hot. Suno wins with the Felm Scream in the first matchup.
Not over, because Temporal is weak to both of these decks.
Yeah, so Suno is forced to try and win with Temporal Control against JPS Scream and Skycrag Aggro both. And that's an uphill battle.
The JPS Scream, as we kind of saw against the kind of Valkyrie's deck, can have some awkward draws where it just doesn't draw any of its major threats. So I think that's what Suno is hoping for. And I don't know if they have any way of giving their Rilgon's Disciple Overwhelm. That will be handled comfortably.
No, they don't have a way to give it Overwhelm. They do have Acquisitive Crow and Jump Kick and Sabotage.
Yeah.
None of that deals with
big deal.
Well.
That can really mess with a temporal control deck. I'll draw or get rid of their important removal.
Okay, so players have hopped right back into game, and we're gonna check out what they brought.
Leading with Skycrag. Suno some tools for dealing with Skycrag.
Yeah, he has the Hailstorm and the Desert Marshal, which are both very much what you want against the Skycrag list.
If any time.
That's gonna be a very big problem for Sono.
This, I mean, he's got the wisdom of the elders, so he can try and draw for the time, but
Wield the blade.
is
Chooses to play out the Pyro Knight instead of the charging Champion of Fury.
because it doesn't have the second fire, so so that makes sense. They just want to attack with as many units as possible on turn 3. Plenty of power, but there is now the Desert Marshal to silence possibly the Aegis unit. Hummel is also online, so this is relevant. But yeah, I think they would. Oh, okay. They're sending. It's just
Killing the Aegis unit.
The Aegis unit, and this is going to lose out to Pummel.
Keeps Rampage on top.
Is interesting.
Rampage isn't gonna look so good versus after this Hailstorm comes down.
They needed to keep a real threat rather than just a Rampage. Now, Suno has the mana for Harsh Rule whenever they need it.
Most of the time, we think the Skycrag deck is favored in the Portal matchup, but this time, they weren't really making it through.
The problem is the Skycrag deck. I think they should play Harsh Rule here. Just use the more expensive. Yeah, there we go. Really needs is like Thaddeus or plenty of Yeti, plenty of threats that Suno can't really kill. Oh, Suno is at 7, and there's their 8th power, so gonna be able to play Sword. That will kill Vadius's. Doesn't really have anything.
He could just Hailstorm to kill the Dust Grader right here. He does decide to do that.
I can get behind this. It's just like, why let them have anything at all that lets them be aggressive? Because Suno is just of removal anytime soon.
I'm sorry, bringing in one of the better draws he can have here, but that's gonna
It
get
makes
answered.
sense of them keeping that Rampage. They can get some at least through here.
It is going to get
Lofty.
answered by the Wasp the next time it attacks.
A sword, I think. Oh no, because the sword will take double damage. The sword for killing isn't that sort of thing.
Yep. End of the story is on top. I believe he threw that one away.
This city will burn.
Yeah. That deals with the Wasp. Now they can play in the face Aegis.
Yeah, and Allison is just struggling to try and get back in here. Champion of Fury is going to be a better draw. Gets rid of the sword by itself. Allison may just have to play the long barrel here and make it on the Vadius to kill the sword.
It only puts it at 5.
Oh, that's not enough.
They're hoping to. They were hoping to put it onto like a Champion of Fury. Now Suno gets back disjunction. If you kill the sword once, and
Okay.
even if you can deal with these 3 hours, still dead.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Allison can come back. Champion Fury
And
doesn't
that's
do
game.
it. Okay, and Sono wins
Suno.
he wins the finals of this ECL Sunday Challenge 2-0 versus Allison with Found Scream and Temporal Control. Congratulations to Suno and even Allison for making it this far.
Yeah, and especially with having innovations in this deck, in our lineup with this JPS Scream deck.
Yes, I'm very glad that JPS Stream managed to make it this far, even though we haven't really seen it go off on stream. It's number one in my heart. So I believe that is it for today's ECL Sunday Challenge. Thank you everybody for watching and stopping by. It was great fun being here with you and casting to here today.
Had a pleasure.
So that is, I'm Dr. Hero. I'm here with Jez2718. And we're going to be signing off.
Day.